Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Math 30-2, Chapter 8, Lesson 1, Understanding Angles. Now, I want you to know here there are two types of units used to measure angles. Now, the first one is degrees. You all remember these. Each angle represents 1/360th of the full rotation. So if we start here, and go to here, this is 30 degrees. Note the little degree symbol after. Okay? We've all done those. Now, that's straightforward. Now, there is a different way called radians. Now, radian, notice, looks like the word radius. Now, this is a number value that depends on the arc length and the radius. Now, the arc length is here. It's how big the outside is. The way I think about this is two ways to measure the size of a slice of pizza. One way is the angle. But how many of you guys carry a protractor in your pocket? Not very many. I mean, you could estimate it, but think the good old days when you couldn't go to the store and buy a protractor, you had to make your own. To make a protractor accurate to 360 degrees for each degree, it's a lot of work. If you think about it, it's a lot easier to make a ruler, get a ruler, and measure the crust, the arc length. Or as I said, for the pizza, you can measure the angle, or you can measure the arc length. How much cheese stuffed crust do you get? And we call that arc length A. But don't worry about that. I'm just calling it A to show you it's different than theta. So, okay, and this is important. And this is what I'm talking about today. Measure the angle or measure the size, the length of the crust. Both of which will tell you how big the pizza is, how big the slice of pizza is. Now, notice it depends on the arc length and the radius. Okay? Now, a little bit of math you're going to have to remember. But it's real simple. If you note here, 0, I went and covered it up. But right here, this point, 1 means R is 1. So this should be 2 pi times the radius, which is 2 pi. Okay? Or 180 degrees. So 2 pi equals 360. Or 180 degrees equals pi radians. This is today's lesson. This is what you have to remember. And I'll often simplify this 180 degrees equals pi. If you can remember that, that's today's lesson. Okay? Now, here, when working with angles, realize that any angle measured given without a degree symbol is assumed to be in radians. So if I go 30 degrees, that's degrees. If I go 7, it's radians. Now, I should warn you, I was taught to use a little R symbol for radians. But I'm not supposed to do that because that's wrong. Okay? I may do that on occasion, but if I do, please correct me. Okay? Now, if I went 3 pi, that's radians. Okay? So, I could be in degree, I could be in radians. Today, we're going backwards and forwards. So, converting between degrees and radians, we use a ratio degree, radian, or actually should go to circumference. That makes a little more sense. But anyway, so this is, well, actually I just did it, my apologies. I'm repeating myself. I did it back here. 360 degrees is 2 pi r. So 180 degrees, half that. So as I said, this is what I need you to remember. 180 degrees pi radians, that's supposed to be not radians. Okay? Now, 180 degrees equals pi. That's all you got to remember. Now, how do we use that? Well, the question right here. Convert 60 degrees into radians. Well, 60 degrees. Now, remember unit conversion? We we divide by the units we start with degrees, and we want radians at the end. So it's pi over 180. So grab your calculator, but it's 60 pi divided by 180. Now, I want to point out something. 60 divided by 180 is 33333 math, and that to a fraction, that's 1/3. I need you to recognize 60 pi 180 is pi over 3 radians. Alright? Okay, so this is simplifying fractions. And that goes 0.3333 pi. And that goes 0.333 times pi 1.047. Don't do that. Leave this pi over 3. It's a much nicer number. So here's 60 degrees. For 3 radians. Okay? Now, remember 180 equals pi? So convert the following degrees into radians. I'll start this. 180. Pi over 180. That's 2 pi over 18, which is pi over 9. Leave it as a mixed fraction. Leave it as a fraction like that. Okay? Now, I also expect you to be able to draw. Now, 20 degrees is roughly that. So that's 5 or 9 radians. Alright, now I'm going to pause the recording. I want you guys to do these calculations, and we'll come back and compare answers and drawings. Okay? Okay, ladies and gentlemen. 150 degrees should work out to be 5 pi over 6. 420 degrees is 7 pi over 3. And 250 degrees is 35 pi over 18. Those should be roughly your angles there. And notice the 150 degrees is almost half a circle. 420 is more than 360, so it's a complete circle and keeps on going. And 350 degrees is almost a complete circle. A little messy, but you get the basic idea. Now, converting between radians and degrees, well, the same ratio again. Radians to degrees is pi radians, and no, I'm not supposed to be using radians, but I'll just pi. So, convert 1 radian into degrees. Well, 1 radian. Now, that is 180 degrees. Let me rephrase that. That's radians, so we divide by radians. We multiply by degrees, so it's 180 degrees divided by 5. Now, 180, that's about, Mr. Calculator, that should be about 57.3 degrees. Now, pi is an infinite decimal, goes on for, I'm not repeating decimal or rational, so it goes on forever. So this decimal goes on forever. We just did this. So it's about 57 degrees. Now that I need to be able to do. So, convert the following radians into degrees. Do the first one with you. 180 degrees pi. And Mr. Calculator says that's about 28.6 degrees. Now, honestly, I have trouble doing radians, and you'll see me stopping doing radians, converting them into degrees in my head. 28.6 is roughly like this. 6 degrees. That's roughly 0.53. Now I'm going to pause the recording. You guys do these conversions, and then we'll come back and compare answers. Okay. So I got something like this. 5 radians is about 286 degrees, 26.5. 2 radians is about 114.6. And 3 pi is exactly 540 degrees. 1.5 circles. Right? Now, last question. What are the measures of these 2 angles? Well, this is a trick question because this is 90 And this is 20, so this is 90 degrees. It's 20 degrees, which is 110 degrees. Now, there's a trick here. This is going clockwise, so this is minus 110 degrees. It's going backwards. Because traditionally, we go this way. So this is 360 degrees. 110, which is 250 degrees. Now, what is that in radians? I don't know. 250 degrees times 580 is 580 and 518. So, which is easier to use? 250 degrees. Now, there are times when the radian bit is easier. Now, I'm going to be quiet. I want you guys to figure out the angle here for the second one. And note here, we're doing a complete circle. So that is 360 degrees, or 5 radian, plus this bit here. Okay? That is 90 degrees. That's 5 or 6. Okay, so crap. Actually, let's convert 5. Let's do everything in degrees for a moment. All right, so convert everything to degrees, add it all up and see how much. Sorry, you do it. Come back with your answer. And I got 480 degrees in total. 360 plus 90. That's 90 there. And 30. Now, I'm lazy. 480 times pi over 180. That's 480 pi over 180. 48 over 18. That simplifies to 8.3. Yeah, I prefer the 480 degrees, but you should be able to do the radian bit. Okay? This video is getting kind of long. I'm going to stop it here. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Otherwise, work on the classwork, please. Good luck. Good luck.